Hello, great people. Perhaps you've seen the videos circulating the rounds of Singapore's president boarding a commercial flight. That has made Nigerians to be making a comparison between the lifestyle of the president of Singapore and the lifestyle of the president of Nigeria. In this video, I'll be making a comparative analysis of the lifestyle of the two presidents, and also I'll be making some comparison between Singapore and Nigeria. But before we proceed, I think it is important for you to watch the video. And also, I have another video for you about the First Lady of Nigeria, that our entourage comprises of 41 luxury cars. You heard me right, 41. So you can imagine the cost of fuel, and the fueling, the maintenance, everything is all on taxpayers' money, is all on the Nigerian state. So you can see how we spend money in this country, or should I say, well, we are not the ones spending it anyway. You can see how our leaders spend money. Before I give you the in-depth analysis of this thing, I think let's watch that video. Let's watch it.
First lady. No, na inside that Lagos. I did tell no, no, sha. She not going to just know this one, we carry this flag. Guy, no, I just see am for you. Now see the guy, see the truck.
There you have the video. You can see how the president of other countries, how they are behaving. You can see how the president of other countries, how they are saving money for their country. But what do we have in Nigeria? We have a situation whereby our leaders just spend the way they wish. Our leaders just spend anyhow. Now, Singapore has a population of 5.6 million. Nigeria has a population of over 200 million. We don't know the exact figure. Some people say 200, some people say 220 million. Now, with a population of over 200 million and a population of 5.6 million, you may want to think that maybe, Singapore is poor. That's why the president cannot afford to buy a new private jet like our president, Bola Tinubu. But you are mistaken. Singapore is not poor. Singapore is one of the first world countries. Singapore gained its independence from Malaysia. But then, despite gaining the independence from Malaysia, Singapore has outshined Malaysia. So don't say that if there's a Yoruba nation, or if there's a Biafra, or if there's an Arewa country, what makes you think that those countries cannot eventually outshine Nigeria the way Singapore is outshining Malaysia? Now, let us look at something. Singapore is an oil-producing country. So Singapore is not poor. Don't think Singapore is poor. That's why their president is flying such a commercial flight. No. Another thing is Singapore's GDP is about $8,400. Why that of Nigeria is only 1,500. Look at the distance. Look at it. 8,400 to 1,500. So you can see that Singapore is a prosperous country. And if you care to know, I've been to Singapore before. I was there coincidentally when Lee Kuan Yew died. You must have been hearing Lee Kuan Yew, Lee Kuan Yew. In fact, I was at his lying in state. It was just coincidental. I didn't travel to Singapore for Lee Kuan Yew's burial. It was just coincidental at that point in time. So Singapore is an oil producing country. Nigeria is an oil producing country. But Singapore is managing. Nigeria is spending anyhow. Why the Nigerians that you actually owns the money are impoverished and in starvation and in a state of destitution. One thing is, did you observe something in that video? Did you observe that there's no much entourage around the president of Singapore? Did you observe it? There won't be much entourage when the country is prospering, when the citizens are happy. When the citizens are happy, when you are closer to the people, when the citizens are prospering, that means there will be less insecurity. When there's provision of amenities, whereby there is social incentives, you can become whatever you want to become, despite whether you are poor or rich. That means that the citizens are happy. The happier the citizens, the lesser the insecurity. The lesser the insecurity, the less money you need to spend on securing yourself as a president or as a governor. But can't you see that there's less entourage around him compared to that of, our first lady, right? 41 cars. I'm sure I've not witnessed the entourage of the president of Singapore, but for him to be this simple, I'm sure the president of Singapore does not have 41 cars lined up, luxury cars, as entourage. So you can see the simplicity. That's another thing. Look at the simplicity of the president of Singapore. Just imagine it. And look at the confidence that he has to be able to board a plane with ordinary Singaporeans. Do you want to hear the truth? Do you really want to hear the truth? Tinubu, for fear of the unknown, will never try that, to board a plane with ordinary Nigeria. And another truth that you may not want to hear is, as an ordinary citizen, you cannot move close to Tinubu. If you do, if DSS shoot you, oh, sorry, bro, gone too soon. But look at the simplicity. Another thing that you need to notice is, did you see any gun round the president of Singapore? You cannot see the president of Nigeria and you won't see a man carrying one heavy gun as if he's going to Third World War. But look at the simplicity. Look at another thing. Look at the expression on the faces of the citizens of Singapore. Just look at it. It shows that Nigerian politicians still have a lot to learn. Because in a functional democracy, it shows that the citizens of Singapore has a cease and desist order. What does that mean? The citizens have the power to tell you, stop, don't do it again. Cease, desist. Cease means stop, desist means don't do it again. But what do we have in Nigeria? You will say, oh, president, don't buy that jet. But it is Zhongshan, the incident that happened to Zhongshan, that will notify you that, oh, the jet has even already been bought anyway. You can imagine that. So instead of use money to buy all these jets, why not use it to provide amenities for the citizens, to make the citizens happy? Instead, we are just acquiring jet. You find a situation whereby Akpabio, you want to go out, we take one jet. Shetima, we take another jet. As if we are a luxury, we are a country of luxury. As if we are truly, in the true sense of it, a prosperous country. And the thing is, if you see Nigeria's president beside the president of Singapore, you will think Nigeria is very rich, that the citizens are enjoying based on the image of the president that you've seen. You will know that politicians cannot die well. I'm telling you. If you compare both presidents, you will think, oh, Nigeria is heaven on earth. You will know that Nigerians are suffering. Nigerians are in abject penury. There's unemployment, poverty, starvation, and insecurity in the land. What I can say is, if we are, I'm tempted to say, you see your life, but Tinubu is my president as well. So I think the right thing to say is, you see our life, you see our, and some of you that encourage bad thing, that you will say that, oh, do you want the president to die? Doesn't he need the jet? Have you thought about the maintenance? One thing about that jet of Tinubu is the maintenance. Let us use a casual example. If you bought a commercial taxi, all you just need is, when you get to your destination, you pay. If you bought a commercial flight, you only need to book a ticket. The money for hangar, maintenance, air hostess, pilot, it doesn't concern you. You've paid, and your cost will be reduced because a lot of people are also flying on that particular jet. But that of Tinubu, look at how much he is spending. The president of Singapore will only pay for his seat. That means that he is saving his country a huge amount of money. While we are wasting money. Currently, our jet is not even in the country. The president is outside the country. And all his aides, large number of aides are receiving extra quotes daily. You can imagine that. The president is jumping from UK to France. His holiday, I think, is over. We don't even know when he will be back. And who there questions him? Is it Akpabio? Oh my God. Is it really God's will Akpabio or Tinubu's will Akpabio? But that's a story for another day. The president will say, oh, he doesn't watch social media. Please, he should try and be watching social media so that he can see how his colleagues are behaving, so that he can be behaving himself. Because the truth is, Bola Bola, you really need to behave yourself. You really, really need to behave yourself. But one thing is that, what are we expecting? Do you expect Bola Tinubu not to fly, or not to buy a new jet, or to be flying commercial flight, when even before he becomes the president, he owns a private jet and is maintaining it? The question is, do you know? Because I don't know. What is the business of Bola Ahmed Tinubu before he becomes president? Does he have a factory or an industry? I don't know. What I know is, they usually say he's the owner of Alphabeta, that is receiving about 30% from every revenue generated in Lagos State. You tie it to politics. I know he's the political godfather, but what legitimate business that we can say that has no ties with politics? Maybe a university, a construction firm, something that we can't tie to politics. I don't know. Maybe you know. Do well to tell me in the comment section. But we know that this man has a kind of, like, he likes to live an extravagant life, and we voted for him. Or should we say, we watch our eyes and he became the president. We have to live with the consequence of the extravagant spending of the president and his aides. The Lagos boys, Lagos boys, they sabi spend money. Lagos boys sabi spend money. They will spend your money. They will spend it and they won't care. Shout out to P Square. It's been an interesting time with you guys on this episode of Politing with Dr. Omoshola Deji. And of course, Dr. Deji is a political scientist with a PhD in political science, and this is where we make it happen. If you are yet to subscribe to this channel, turn on your notification button, and of course, catch up with my past videos so that, we can always make it happen. Till I see you again. Of course, I'm not always far from you. I love you all. Sincerely.